Thank you so much for having me with you today, even if it's through this audiovisual medium. I'm grateful that you have found the time to be part of this effort that we are making to, as it were, reinvent Nigeria. And the question is, why should we be going down this track? Why are we taking all this trouble? It's very simple. In the 1960s, Nigeria was a country of great promise. That promise essentially led people to assume that if three emergent powers came out of the developing world, one of them would be Nigeria. Today, unfortunately, you and I know that Nigeria is almost a prostrate nation. A country that can turn any which way. Before us, truly, is posed the question of life or death. Our challenge is that we must choose life. Unfortunately, the politics of our country has unconsciously maybe been choosing death. And the result of this, if you will, disposition is that we have an economy which in the 1960s outperformed most of the economies of the so-called Asian tigers today. Today, the difference between those economies and Nigeria is like night and day. Some of them have output per capita $14,000, $16,000. Nigeria struggles between $300 and $700. Nigerian people live in abject poverty. 71% of Nigerians live below the poverty line. We live in a country where there's much insecurity of life and property. We live in a country where, as Senator Barack Obama said not long ago, is in the throes of collapse. But sometimes the leadership elite tradition seems to carry on as if all is okay. But most of our people are excluded from progress. That is not sustainable. Because it is not sustainable, it has become imperative for people like you and myself to engage this system and to say we cannot go on anymore like this, because to go on like this would essentially to be for Nigeria to travel down the road to Somalia, and we must not go down that path. And so we have come, a group of committed Nigerians, saying to ourselves that our duty, our task is to find people who have character, who have the competence, who have the commitment, who have compassion for the Nigerian people, to offer themselves to be servant leaders in a process of reinventing Nigeria. That, you and I know, is not going to be an easy track to travel, but it is, to use the Civil War language of Nigeria, a task that must be done. This is why I have offered myself as candidate for the office of President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I know that I cannot do it on my own. I know that this is a shared project. This is a team effort that will involve people like you and myself looking at that future that we want to see for our children, looking at the dignity of the black man. Because, as former Ugandan Foreign Minister Olara Otuno says very often, unless we get the Nigerian project right, the African project will never come right, and the dignity of the black man will be in serious challenge. How can we work together to make this happen? Part of the vision that I have offered of a new Nigeria is of a country, of a people of industry and integrity who are prosperous and inspire an African renaissance in which the dignity of the human person is at the center of all public choice. All decisions must be about the human being and how his dignity is enhanced by the fact that he lives in this kind of organized society. We have thought through what we will do to make this happen. We've said that we have to immediately ensure that we embark on massive infrastructure projects that will provide jobs to millions of Nigerians, put purchasing power in their pockets, and stimulate an entrepreneurial environment to make this growth be something that is sustainable. We'll deal with the issues of police reform so that security for life and property will be there. We'll make agriculture profitable so that we can attract new people, young, able-bodied people who see the profit into agriculture rather than an aging generation of subsistence farmers. We have said that we will deal with the challenge of manufacturing, which contributed nearly 14% of GDP in 1980s, today contributes less than 4% of GDP. No country that wants to make progress, which has such a large population, can afford to allow manufacturing to go down that path. A key to the future is how you and I can collaborate to make this happen. We need your support in more ways than you can even begin to imagine. We need your support in terms of the quality of human capital is outside of the system that we must attract in, even from a distance, to help stimulate the rebuilding of our country. We need your contribution in terms of getting people who you affect in Nigeria to think change and to vote for the right kind of person, rather than to feel powerless and say, there's nothing I can do. These people will have their way anyway, my vote does not count. Votes count, and you can ensure that they are awake to the fact that their votes will count. You can also contribute to UPAC, the resources that we need to be part of making change.
I don't even want to complain. I'm part of Utomi, don't raise your hand, say I want to rule the nation. And why not? Everybody say go lay better foundation. So make we join hand well and make we think and well. Pastor President, choose the future, just be current part for president.